Hello and welcome to all the Maximals and Predacons out there. I'm Joe here with me is my co-host Dan.
Hello and greetings.
And though it's not much, we've hit 10 subs here on the Sci-Fi Corner. Which, one has to bear in mind, we basically gave up on this channel years ago. And we've only recently been reviving it because we've gotten back into Transformers lately. So, thank you. We've basically doubled our total number of subs, which that's never an easy accomplishment. Whether it be 5, 1,000, or even 20 subs or whatever, it's never very easy, especially given how weird the algorithm works here on YouTube. Anyways, our big fat thank you for getting us into the double digits aside, which that is a hint of what to do. Anyways, the movie from 86 continues with the ever brilliant Hot Rod having it pointed out to him that there's a hole in the shuttle. He then takes a closer look, sees the rear end of Starscream, and immediately recognizes his face. Starscream's face, I mean. I'm kidding. I mean, the rear end doesn't look too different from the... Anyways. But the thing is, he then starts firing at the shuttle. Some of his shots go a little wayward, to say the least. Some of them are pretty broad. But while he glances Starscream, or maybe Starscream trips, oh well. The best shot is the one that goes right through the center of the shuttle.
And then you see the Decepticons shooting down the lookout point.
Well, they're shooting back at it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. They do shoot it down because right before you see Hot Rod's one really good shot, lookout point is basically being demolished. Good to know that the weaponry works here. Now, what's interesting is that in the TV series, I don't remember any of their shots being this destructive to the environment or to anyone. Like, that's the thing. Like, in the 84 cartoon, do you remember any time when a part of an entire structure or a mountain like this was so easily demolished? Or the Autobots shot was able to take down a ship like that so easily? I don't. Except maybe Optimus Prime's blaster, but that thing was basically the exception, not the rule. And yet here, every side seems to be using blasters that, well, frankly, are starting to make me think that Wing Zero's blaster is worthless. That was a Gundam Wing reference, and I apologize for it. I should know better than to reference Gundam Wing, given how terrible that series was. I'm ashamed of my actions and my words. But anyways, these shots are... No wonder a good chunk of humanity has been wiped out. I mean, when you have a portion of a mountain just totaled, when you have a ship totaled, pretty much each with just a few shots, wow! How much heat are these guys packing? I can only imagine the Predator took one look at Earth in this timeline and went, nope. And the other Decepticons are quick to, want out, going, okay, well, the jig is up. We've not been able to get into Autobot City. So much for the subtle approach. Now we have to go with the open attack. Strategically, to an extent, I'm not going to fault Megatron or Starscream too much, because this was a matter of dumb luck, or given that there's no luck in such a series, this was a matter of the Matrix. I'm kidding. Actually, they were unlucky. Hot Rod saw them, which, not entirely a loss, given that they did end up making it just shy of Autobot City. So now they're past all the Autobot radars. It's for Autobot City to try to scramble to save itself to an extent. That isn't to say that Megatron and his Decepticons accept this, I don't want to say defeat, but this setback with dignity. Oh, no. Megatron, he never accepts anything with dignity. As he blasts what remains of Lookout Point, demolishing almost the entire mountain with one shot, after telling the other Decepticons, attack! Clearly, I think he's taking Hot Rod's attack on the shuttle a little personally. I mean, where does he come off? That was Autobot property. If anyone should be mad, it should be Kup and Optimus, not Megatron. Unless he's offended on their behalf, at which point, yeah, okay. I'm kidding. But all jokes aside, you've got the difference between Megatron and Hot Rod highlighted in how Hot Rod's only thought is for Daniel, as he calls out his name and rushes over to take the boy into his arms, realizing just how impulsive and foolish he had been, because it was foolish to engage in attacking the shuttle while Daniel is barely 5 feet from him. Well, 5 Autobot feet. Because that endangers Daniel's life. But that said, it's not like there was a lot of people Hot Rod could reach out to in the given area. And Kup wouldn't believe him because he hates Hot Rod. So Hot Rod didn't have any other option except to attack the shuttle. Arguably, strategically, this was the only move he could make. But on the other hand, it's way too impulsive and it's risking Daniel's life. As for Kup, meanwhile, looking to try to catch up to Hot Rod in order to discipline him, as if Hot Rod would even listen to him or accept the punishment, Kup comments to himself, "What is that young fool doing?" I imagine J. Jonah Jameson often says the same thing regarding Spider-Man before he's had his first cup of coffee, I mean. Hey, I'm just saying, I imagine Jameson being a caffeine addict. But given how high-strung that guy is. Anyways, he looks up, realizes there are Decepticons, and goes, "Oh, shoot. Slag." So, Kup then, realizing that Decepticons are trying to infiltrate Autobot City, has to forget for the moment about disciplining his least favorite Autobot on Earth. Or favorite, considering a hate crush is still a crush. All that aside, the only thing that is kind of Hot Rod's fault in this situation is that if Kup would not believe him in this situation, it's because Hot Rod built himself a really poor reputation by misbehaving. If he had actually had a bit more... Well, basically, if he had behaved himself better in the past, he wouldn't be in a situation where he has to fire and he can turn to the authorities instead to do their job. So this is really his own fault. But, on the other hand, given what he had at hand... now, he did risk Daniel's life. I'm reluctant to support that. But on the other hand, he didn't have many other options. That aside, this is a really great scene, and it showcases the heroism and impulsiveness of Hot Rod. And it shows that Hot Rod has a lot to learn. Now, arguably, the Hot Rod haters are going to say, no, it's the scene where Optimus is slain that we see Hot Rod's folly. No, it's this one. Actually, that scene shows a different side of Hot Rod than that, I would argue. But we'll get to that when we get to it. But for now, the 80s rock in this scene is awesome. Because it's 80s rock, and this was probably one of the best animated films of all times. And let's be honest, this was a massively underrated gem. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like and that subscribe button as though you were Megatron blasting at it.